Hi, this is RocketRobotz, and in this episode, we are going to code the matrix effect, as you can see here. And we are going to use the processing development environment, which uses the Java programming language. So there we go. First things first, if you hear some K-pop, it is just there to remedy my loneliness. Now we can start. With every processing project or sketch or whatever the hell you call it, you need to use, we're going to use the two functions, setup and draw. So in processing, setup is the one you just run it once when you start the program, and draw is you run it every frame, which in this case is 60 frames per second. So there we go. And for the matrix effect, we're going to use a font that contains Chinese or Japanese characters, because in the original one, it apparently uses like Katakana characters. So, and the default font in processing doesn't have the Katakana characters. So first we're going to declare the font first. So we're just going to call it the font. You can call it whatever the font you want. And it doesn't have anything. So in setup, which is just run once, we're just gonna assign its value. So the font is equals to create font. So in this case, I'm using the font Arial Unicode MS, which contains Unicode characters. And this is super important. We have to define the default value of the text. Okay, in this case I'm going to use 20. And of course we have to tell processing that we're going to use that font. So text font just basically tells like, hey, I'm going to use this font. There you go. And this is more of a design choice more than anything, kind of. It's text align, so I'm going to align the text at the center. So and top. Okay, this can be important later on but I'm not going to explain that much, just kidding. So there we go, we have the font. So as you can see here, there are like bunch of characters and just a stream. So basically we're going to make two objects, which is the character and the stream object. I'm making use tabs just to make it, it's more of an organizational choice more than anything. You can put it whatever you want. Now we're going to make the character object. Just gonna name it car, why not, lol. So what is this car object going to have? It's going to have it's going to hold a character, of course. We're just going to call it the car. And it's going to have a position. So we're going to declare two integers, x and y. It's pretty simple. And of course we need to have a constructor function, which basically makes an instance of an object or whatever. Let's go car, and we're going to pass the x and y here. I'm going to show you why later. So this is different. You can I'm just going to name it temporary x, temporary y. Okay, so the character x is equals to temp x, and y is equals to temp y. We're just going to use it later. Now the character object is going to have like two methods or functions or whatever. It's going to be show and get random character. The show function method is just going to have the text function or method. I'm just going to say function because it sounds nice. So it's going to show the character. See, as you can see here, it expects 3 arguments: the string or character, and the x and y coordinates, which we just declared. That's basically the show function. Now the get random character function is where the juicy things are. So first things first, why do we need to create a font? Because the default font that the processing sketch uses doesn't have characters. So how are we going to select the characters, those random characters? So first we have to go to the character map, which it just shows the characters. In Mac I think it's character palette, so character map, and conveniently it shows Arial Unicode MS for the font, and you can see here the characters. So I'm just gonna write some code first, then I'm gonna explain it. There we go. And in the character map, as you can see here, it's hexadecimal. Unfortunately, the char function only takes like base 10, and hexadecimal is base 16. Okay, I'm just gonna write some stuff here for a second. And we're just gonna leave it there, and the car will have the random. There we go. So the random function can take a range, so it can pick whatever random number it desires. Now first, how do we get the range? So this is where the character map will be useful. You see here, because it can show us the value of the Unicode. But unfortunately, as I said earlier, probably, is that the character function here, it only takes a base 10 number, so 1 to 10, are the number that we use every day. And unfortunately, this is hexadecimal, which goes to 0 to 9 and A to F, so 16, as you can see here. So we're going to convert this hexadecimal into base 10. Now how do we do that? Now you can do some math, but I won't do that. What we can do is, in the setup, is we can use the parseInt function. We can use the parseInt function to show us, what's the actual value of this. So integer.parseInt, I'm going to put that here. So maybe we want I want from 0, which is 0030, and I'm just gonna copy it. Maybe I want my range of characters up to Z. There you go. We're going to put it here, 5A. There we go. Now we have a range. If you start this, oh lol, I forgot to define the size of the canvas. I'm just going to use 720p, and I'm going to define the render. P2D just means it's just using the GPU and OpenGL and other stuff. It just makes it faster. There you go. Oh, we're gonna comment this out first. We're not gonna use it. And there we go. Wait. Now why are we doing this? So that we can get the range from this value to Z, like all the values up to here. And we don't know the actual base value because it's in hexadecimal. And this integer dot parseInt just converts the hexadecimal into decimal, which is base 10. And this is what you want to convert. This is the base. And if we run this, and there's nothing, of course, because we haven't put anything. As you can see here, it shows the actual values. Wow. So yeah, we can now put this on the random one. Here, see here. What's that? 4890. Nice. Now if it's gonna pick a random number between and maybe I can show you what that looks like, and we can create the character object. Going to make a new character object, and I'm going to say equals new car. Oh, we need to define the position, because as you can see here, there's position X and Y. So like in the center, and also in the center. And we're going to show the new character. Show, yeah. And I'm gonna put a new character, so get random character. Oh yeah, we're going to copy it here just in case it's 1. I'm going to run this again. Oh, there you go. Just this L. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'm just going to put background here so that we have a background. Okay. Now that's nice and all. Well, how do we get the other characters? We're just going to do the same thing. So maybe I want to use the Latin, some other letters, but as you can see here, it's Katakana. So yeah, whatever. We're going to use Katakana. Where is it anyway? Oh, here we go. This is Hiragana, Katakana. Okay, so it's first one. It's third. Yeah, whatever. I'm not even gonna say it. A1. There you go. Maybe I want.
And then maybe I want to use up to here. Maybe some Hangul characters. Why not? It's like Korean. And here are some Bopo Mofo or whatever that is. And actually, I'm just going to use Katakana characters, or maybe some of this is pretty much a design choice. Pick whatever you want. Maybe up to here.
Maybe up to here. So from this to whatever the first one is, I'm going to pick a random one. This is 3147. And see here, hexadecimal. I'm going to run this just to get the values. Boom. So 12,449, 12,615. Wait, 12,615. Yeah, whatever. Okay, and put it right here. 12,449, 12,615. 15. Okay, there we go. So why do we have this if statement? So basically, so that we can choose what range we want to get a character from, because this one just gets the one we put earlier, 0 to Z, and this one is for the Katakana characters, and this just picks a random number from 0 to 1 and is going to round it, because this one's returns some funky decimals, and round You just round it off, so it's either 0 or 1. And there you go. And there you go. And now we're just declaring an integer that we're going to convert. And we're assigning it a value which is a random number from the range that we just did some funky magic on, which is also rounded because, as I said earlier, the random function, it just returns like 4.2 something something. It's not a whole number, so important to have the round there. 48 to 90, we discussed this earlier. Maybe I'll have to format it. See, now it looks nicer. Magic. So if this is 0, then 0 to Z. If it's 1, then we get a Katakana character. That is basically the character object. If you play this, see, we get a random thing. Maybe we can get a Katakana character. No? Why? Just give me something. Just give me some random. No, there we go. Katakana character. Hey. Now what? Now we're going to do all this in the stream. Same as before. I'm going to have a constructor function, which basically, this is where all you define stuff, initialize stuff, and it's going to take an integer, just the x, okay, temp x, whatever. Okay, there we go. You'll see why we only need x in a moment. Okay, and we're going to have an array of characters, as you can see here. So we're going to say, and we're going to use the array list, which is just a fancy array. It's basically using some listing methods. We're gonna see. So first have to define the object. There we go. And we're going to name that array characters or cars, maybe. Yeah, cars. And I'm going to say cars equals new array list car. There we go. Now we have an array of characters, but there's nothing in it. When you use the array list, there's nothing really. So as you can see here, every stream, like every line of this is just one stream. Every single one of them has different amounts of characters. So going to have an integer that tells how many characters, and maybe we can just say number of characters. There we go. And we're going to have that. We're going to assign a value which is random, and of course it's an integer. It has to be a whole number, so we have to round it. Maybe like this is basically a design choice. You can pretty much choose whatever you want. I'm just gonna put maybe 10 up to 30, maybe. Why not? And we're going to write a for loop. We're going to add some characters based on the number of characters, the numcar. So if it's 7, we're going to make like 7 character objects, and so on and so forth. So 4, okay, for integer x equals to 0, x is less than the size, the number of characters. Now this is important. Times the size of the text. as you can see here, the default size. So 20. So 20, and we're going to increment that x by 20. Okay, that was straightforward. Not really. Now why do we have this? Whatever, I'm just gonna write some stuff here. So cars dot add. See, for an array list, to add something is basically this add, and we're going to assign a new character object, and the character object takes two arguments, two integers, the location. So we're going to use this x, the integer that uses x, whatever. Okay, wait, I did it wrong. It's actually the y, because we're going to add characters by horizontally. Well, there you go. It's still the same. 20. Okay, there you go. Cars with a new character, and the x would be the temp x. Now there you go. Oof, sheesh. And the y is this one. Okay, now let's see here. The stream object is just going to have one function, which is called update. So first we're going to make sure that this exists. So for every, so this is an enhance for each loop, for every character in the characters array, we're going to have it show itself. Okay, so here we go. The update function for now is just this. You just need to make sure that this exists.
And in this, we're going to create a new stream. I think I called it stream, right? Yeah. Streams. Okay, can I remove this? Streams. Streams equals new stream with divided by 2, because you only need x for this one, which I'll show you why. Yeah. Well, basically, you can pretty much figure out why we only need x, as you can see here. But yeah, with divided by 2, streams that show.
It's not even streams. It's just one stream. Oh, update. Lol, 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 lol. You can pretty much name the functions whatever you want. It's not here. Oh yeah. Wait. Text show. Oh, it doesn't have anything. So for the constructor function of the character, we need to make sure it has something on it. So every time you create a new character, gonna have x, y, and a random character. There you go. Get random character. See, I'm gonna set to a random character. Oh, there we go. Nice. Let's see. Okay, now we're back. I just had some technical difficulties. Yeah, I think. So I think I didn't explain why in this for loop it's y. We're using the increments of this y to put in the character object. See here, x and y. So that temporary x is from the argument of the stream, and the y is basically this one. So what does this actually do? What does this for loop do? As you can see here. Oh, why is it not here? Oh, I deleted it. This is not going so well. So basically, this for loop just uses the y, and this is based on the number of characters times 20, because we're going to increment by 20, and we're going to pass this to the new character object, which is right here. Okay, there you go, new character object. So yeah, there we go. So now we have, characters, in the array list. Now what? Now we're going to make it, have a different color, because as you can see here, the first character in the stream is white, and the other ones are like fading away or whatever. That makes sense. So for that to happen, and we're going to use a basic for loop. So the size of we can do that. I'm going to use I equals 0. If you don't know, if you use an array, it always starts at 0. So element 0 is like the first one. It's less than cars.size x I plus plus. Okay. Now there we go. So if we're going to put a color, you have to use the fill function in processing, which can take RGB in using 255 or whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna show you this is red. So I don't want any red, so 0, and I want a lot of green. It's RGB, right? RGB, yeah. Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna put some blue so it's not overly green. There we go. And for the array of characters, the way you call every element is by saying cars that get I. So yeah, for the for loop we are increasing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to the size of the array. So yeah, I suck at explaining things. Maybe I shouldn't do this at all. So there we go. We are showing the characters, you can see here, and we are assigning it a color which is green. I think that's how it works. Maybe I shouldn't delete it.
See, we're gonna make a stream. Yeah, streams. Okay, and streams equals new stream, and at the draw, which runs 60 frames per second, we're going to say that streams update, because that's the one I use. Maybe I should put it in separate chunks, maybe, but for now it just works as long as it works.
Oh yes, there we go. Wait, is it wrong? Oh, I forgot that the constructor function takes arguments. So we're just gonna put it at the center of the window, because as you can remember, the stream gets the x coordinate of the text, which passes to the new character object, which goes through here to show. Maybe I suck at explaining, but there we go. It should work, probably. Boom, there we go, it's green. How do we make just the bottom one white? Well, here we go. See, we are in this for loop, we are incrementing to 0 to the size. And in this one, and the constructor function of the stream, in this for loop, we are adding a new character from top to bottom. As you can see here, it's 0. Then it just adds 20. So the bottom one is actually the last one, I think. Yes, because the first one 0 or 20. Now I'm actually confused. It's 0 plus 20. Wait, let me see. No, actually it's 20. The first one is 20, so Yeah, plus 20. The first one is 20, then it just adds poop 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 poop, it just adds poop 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 poop, and the bottom one is the last element of the array because we're adding from top to bottom. So the first one, 0, is the one with the 20, then the last one is the last, we're adding by top to bottom by okay. And so if we want the last one, so it's basically the size of the character minus 1. Yeah, that makes sense, right? If I is equals to the very bottom one, size minus 1, because it starts at 0, because programming apparently, minus 1, then we're going to say its color fill is white, maybe not fully white, like just a tad bit white or greenish. There we go. Oh,
I forgot to put another one. There we go. Where is it? Man, I'm breaking down right here. I don't know what I'm doing. Just kidding. Oh. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, this is why. Oh yeah, there we go.
so if it's the very last one, the bottom one, it gets white or something like that. And there we go. It works. Yeah, even though I suck at explaining things, it works. So because we're adding, like, this is the first one, so this has the index, the I of 0. This is the last one. Okay, there we go. So that is basically how we show a stream. I'm just gonna put it here.
How it colors.
Oh yeah, maybe I can show you how it fades. First, we're going to declare a variable of a number. I'm just gonna call it alpha. Okay, and alpha will have a value. So wait, chill for a minute. What is this map function in processing? It's basically a remap function where you take a range where you take a number from a range and put it in a different range. I'm just gonna show you. I equals from top to the bottom, so 0 to the size of the array minus 1, and we're going to assign it 0 to 255. So the fill function, actually, in processing, if you add another argument, it also takes alpha, which is basically transparency. That's why it fades. So if we put alpha here, and so basically we're checking the value of I, which has a range of 0 to the size, as you can see here, and we're going to remap that number to a range from 0 to 255. Should work. Oh, there we go. See, you can see how it fades out. I mean, we can't even see the last character. Maybe not 0, maybe 50. Okay, 50. Yeah, there we go. We can kind of see it, but there you go. That's how you achieve the fade effect. Now basically we're done with the colors. We can pretty much move on with our lives now. Now how do we move this? And how do we move this? The streams and stuff. Basically these streams have a random speed based on the frame count of the frame count. A frame count is it's a variable that takes the amount of frames that the program has actually run. So yeah, did I say it right? Maybe. So we're going to make another integer called the speed. Yeah, that works actually. And in the stream constructor function, this is actually a constructor function, we're going to have a random speed equals, we're going to round it because it's an integer. It has to be a whole number. Random. And what is the range? What is the range that we're going to put to the random? Well, pretty much you can pick whatever you want, but yeah, since the frame rate is 60, we can choose, like, if you want it to move like half a second, so it's like 30. If you want it like like a fourth of a second, we want it 15. So basically we're just messing around with 60, up to 60, or maybe you can even put 120 if you want it to move like every 2 seconds. So yeah, and this is pretty much a design choice as well. So maybe 10, so basically it moves every 6 times every second. And maybe we can, yeah, let's put 120. And for this one, for every character, we're going to, okay, frame count divided by the speed is equals to 0. So I'm basically explaining what this is for a moment. So we're going to add 20 cars that get I. We're calling the current one that it's y variable. It's y variable. We're going to add 20 to it, to the size of the text. Remember, we're going to increment it by the size. So what does this actually do? This is pretty much the code on how this moves. It's pretty straightforward. So frame count is the global variable, I think. I don't know. It's a variable that keeps count of the frames that has been run by the program. So this one is actually called the modulo. So we are dividing it by the speed, and what this does is basically it spews out the remainder. So for example, if this is 0 divided by the speed, which in this case, let's say the speed is 10. So if it's 0 divided by 10, it has a 0 remainder. So if it has a 0 remainder, then it moves basically. So, or if the speed is 30, and for example the frame count is 60 divided by 30 is 2. So, and it doesn't have any remainder, which is 0. We just move the characters again. I think this should work, and we should see the whole thing just going down. Yeah, and it's supposed to be random, so so it looks kind of cool. Maybe, I don't know. Should go down. Oh, see, it's kind of slow though because we put it up to 120. So there we go. It moves. Hell yeah! Now what? We have to check if it's actually down the screen, so we have to put it back again. As you can see here, yeah, if it goes over the height, it should go back at the top. Okay. Move characters. Move characters, there you go. I'm deciding on how I did that. Let's just use auto format. Ooh! I'm going to use the same one, the same for loop here, but we're going to write a condition. Wait, yeah, we remove this, and then brackets. So we're going to write a condition where if the last one is like over the height, which is basically the bottom of the canvas, we're going to like loop all of them and put them at the top again, if that makes sense. Okay, so cars that get that. Oh no, we're actually checking for the top one, if it's over the top or over the bottom. No words, man. So we're going to check the very top character if it's over the height, like over the canvas. So we basically have to check the first one, 0. We have to check the 0 dot y is greater than height. Height is like the height of the canvas.
There you go. Man, got the brackets. There you go.
Now if it is over the height, then we should put it back. Let me think this through. I think this is going to take like 1 hour maybe. I can't even get ice cream at this point. Not really, I'm gonna get ice cream later. The I dot y is equals to I times negative 20. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, let's see if this works. okay, let's check. I'm going to explain it. Okay, well, this is slow. For demonstrational purposes, I'm going to change it to 30, so at least it can move 10 to like half per second. Half a second. Okay, let's just see. See, now it moves faster. If in this one, the M, if it's over the height, it should be back at the top or whatever. Let's see. See, the suspense is killing me. Oh, it's back. Wait, what the? It's actually reversed. Let's see. I'm going to do some fancy math. Not really. It's not fancy.
Cars that size. This one. Maybe we should like put this cars that size into a variable, but whatever, man. It's kind of annoying to type this. Times French.
Let's see if this works. Okay, if this character should be at the top again. I think it worked. Did it work? Is it the same one? Yes, it worked. Yes. This is why you need math in programming, not really. So what we're basically doing here is that for every character in the character array list, we're going to set its y position negative. So it's like on the upper, it's like over the window, and this is the length minus the number of that character, so whatever this is. So
let's see here. Let's say the first element. We wanted it to be like over. Okay, I'm just gonna say the last element, the very last element, because we added it from top to bottom. The bottom one is the last one, so it has like, let's say, have 10 characters. So 10 characters. So the index of the last character, this one, the index, the number of that element is 9, because for some reason an array always starts to 0. So if we have 10, you should always minus it to 1, because it always starts to 0. So 0 to 9. So the 9th element.
Let's say the current one is 9. So 9 minus 9 is 0. So 0 times negative 20 is 0. So it's going to start at the very top. But the first character will have an index of 0. So car that size minus 1. So let's say if it has 10 characters. Let's say this is 10. So this 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 characters. 8. Okay, 10 minus 1 is 8. 8 times the negative 20 is basically the opposite, the mirror. Okay, let's just move on with our lives and just say that this moves it, like this checks if the stream goes over. Yeah, as you can see here, sometimes the characters change randomly. Change the character randomly. Let's just say if random less than a percentage, which is 1%, if you know math, percentage is actually a number between 0 to 1, 0 to 100%. So it's going to pick a random number between 0 and 1, and if it is less than 1% or 0.01, then we change the character. Now there we go. Now we're going to get the current element I get random character. Wait, is it right? So a random chance it may change. Let's see if this works. See, some of them change. It's kind of whoa. There's actually a blank. It's actually creeping me out. Maybe you can change this. It's too so we can lessen the chances. So here we have a stream, which just goes it goes down, then it goes back up again. Now how are we going to fill all the screens? Yeah, all the screens. Fun fact, we're going to make another array, but it's not characters but streams. Now we have this, where it moves every random speed, and it changes characters, and this one checks if the stream goes over the height. If you need help, I can explain it again in comments. But basically, we have the stream here. We're going to make another array list, but it's not car, it's streams. So there we go. Array list. And with the syntax of this is you have to use the less than and greater than to define the object stream. And I'm just gonna name it streams. Why not? And at setup, we have to tell that we're going to use a lot of streams. We have to define that there's actually a new array list. Okay, streams equals new array list. So array list stream. So we're basically saying here hey, I'm going to use a new array list. And now we're going to apply the same concept to stream for here y, but with x. So we're going to have x here, boop 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 boop. It's I'm gonna add up to the width. This is the width, this is the height. So we're going to add streams with the same concept here, where we increment it by the size of the text. At setup, you just basically define hey, I'm going to use this amount of objects or something like that. Okay, we're going to write a for loop. Now we're going to use x, because you can basically name whatever you want, but for readability it's x. X is less than width, so we're going to add streams less than width, so everywhere, and we're going to increment it. Oh wait, I forgot to put that this is 0. Oh, I'm just gonna let's just see if this works. If you hear the K-pop, name me the K-pop song. Well, and x plus equals 20 the size, and we're going to push or add an array list. It's add new stream, and the stream takes just the x, stream takes the x stream. So we're going to use the x here, the x, x. Okay, and that's basically it. Let's see if this works. It should wait. Oh, we also have to loop for every streams for a minute for stream. This is enhanced for each loop. So we're basically saying like this object stream and a temporary name like s a whatever doge, and saying that for object s, for every object which is named s, in each object is s, for each object in this streams, we are going to we named it s, right, the current one. So this is basically the current one, and we're going to update it because that's what the function I made, where we put everything. I mean, you can separate these things in separate functions, but no. So for simplicity's sake, there we go. For every stream, update, show itself. Ooh, there we go. We're getting nearer. But actually, this actually works. Oh yeah. As you can see here, the very first one is actually at 0, and the way I aligned it is at the center. The position itself is at the center. To fix that, we can just put here 10 because it is the half of 20. So it's more like a design choice actually. I mean, if you're fine with the half, with the first stream being only in the half, like it's cut up. Thanks for watching. I'm going to eat ice cream because I'm hungry. Oh wait, I forgot something. If you can notice it, the position of the character doesn't change, and to here, to the one that we made, is the character moves, and this one, see, it doesn't move. Okay, simple fix with that. Simple fix, character stays if 0 new character. Okay, this is a pretty easy fix. If I is equals to the cars, oh wait, it's the size, so the last one, so the last one size, so the last one minus 1 cars that get that I, the last one should get a random character. If not, else its character should be the one like below it. Cars that get that I, that what do we name this? The car equals +1, because as I contemplated and got frustrated about is we added the characters like from top to bottom, so the bottom one is +1, so there's 5 elements, so it's 0 to 4. So the first one is, the top one is 4, the bottom one is 1, so it's, if it is 0 + 1, so we get the character of that. So you're going to see this should work now. It should be the last. Thanks for watching. You can see here it would be the same now. Oh, what? We should actually put this when the stream actually moves, because if we don't, it will always like change. See, now it works. Now this is actually the real matrix effect. You can see here the last one gets a random character, and the other ones just gets, you know, it just passes on the character below it. Yeah. Thanks for watching again. I'm hungry. I'm going to get ice cream. Subscribe if you want more. Suggest maybe I can type faster the next video. Maybe. Goodbye.